and gentlemen, welcome to episode 173 of the MTB podcast, presented and hosted by Worldwide Cyclery, Kettle Mountain Apparel, and Trail One Components. I'm Jared.
I'm Liam.
And my name is Trevor.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And in this episode, we are going to discuss some truly epic rides and bikes we've been enjoying lately, as well as some classic listener questions ranging from bang for your buck bike upgrades to bike design and everything in between.
Let's get into it.
That's kind of a tongue twister. Bang for your buck bike upgrades.
Bang for your buck bike.
Yeah,
upgrades.
say that 5 times fast. How about Zach's words of wisdom? ZWOW. Confidence is essential for a successful life. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday and give yourself the confidence to be better tomorrow. Kind of like that saying that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Which I find is very real.
Get off Instagram.
Yeah.
100%.
Like feeling pretty good about myself and pretty consistent riding bikes lately.
Yeah.
And, you go on Strava and Matthew Fairbrother, he's an animal. He rides bikes all the time, right?
He's a pro. He's paid to ride.
He's a pro, paid to ride. But, I'm just I was just curious. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Not that I'm comparing myself to him.
Dude, his Strava is absurd.
But
yeah,
I'm
some of his things are absurd.
He's already ridden over 3,000 miles this year.
Yeah.
And it's not even mid.
No, some of the stuff he does is actually unfathomable.
It's insane.
It's when he was doing the EWS to EWS transfer a couple years ago, it actually blew my mind. I couldn't believe the days he was doing.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to think about man, I can't even imagine doing a 12-hour ride, let alone a 14-hour ride or a 24-hour Strava segment.
Yeah. With all your stuff, swapping wheels to
back to back
wheels.
to back, and then getting a top 5 in under 23 EDR racing.
Yeah.
Insane.
It is honestly, has anybody else ever done anything like that?
Yeah, some people have kind of piggybacked on him a little bit. I know a couple
pack in between
each race. I think Eric Olson, he does the Jank components and stuff. He did a little bit of that too. But Matthew's the king of that.
Totally.
He's insane.
Of big dumb efforts that you're just it's honestly inspirational.
But going off of Zach's words of wisdom, I want to say that riding your bike a lot or going to the gym a lot just makes you so much more confident day to day.
For sure.
And highly recommend that.
For sure.
Just in general.
Just logging the hours, right, Liam?
Yeah. Just makes you feel good about yourself, man. You just know you've accomplished something and you're just it's one step foot forward,
Yeah.
For sure.
To go against Zach's words of wisdom, let's compare our miles for the year so far.
Oh, okay. Boy.
I'm almost I'm out basically 650 miles.
650?
Yeah.
I'm at 1,154.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
105,000 elevation gain.
You've been getting a lot of those big rides in.
Been getting some big rides in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You can have I've been more so little attacking just consistently 10, 20 miles a day. And then I'll see, you do a big 100 or 80 mile ride and you're wow, that's just a whole week of riding in one push.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last couple years I've been really focusing on a lot of quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So I might only ride 3 or 4 times a week, but I try to make those 3 or 4 times solid.
Yeah.
And then sprinkle in, quite a bit of strength training, and maybe a run or 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, mine's a little off. I pretty much didn't really ride mountain bikes in January because I was riding dirt bikes.
It's bad when there's a preface to the number.
But I've ridden 215 miles.
Okay, not
41,000 feet.
Not bad.
You say 400,000 now?
41,000 feet.
41.
Yeah.
It's damn, those are some steep miles.
15 rides in 2.5 months or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, having fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been riding dirt bikes, like you said. And,
I've honestly been focusing on working out, like Liam was saying.
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to stay dedicated to that. When you do work out a lot, it's really hard to also ride.
Yeah.
It's hard to balance that because you just feel like trash the next couple of days. So I'm trying to gain some strength first, and then I can ride on the weekends and I'm fine. So just not as much of a priority right now.
Yeah.
I know some repeats tomorrow are going to suck after Trevor and I's worked out.
We worked out this morning and it was tough. We were both kind of dying.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, consistency is key. Everybody has different goals, right?
Yes.
for me, I'm trying to get a bunch of miles in, and like
another reason why you can't compare yourself to other people, because
exactly.
your goal in cycling or whatever you want to do is different than the person working out next to you or riding next to you, whatever, just
for sure.
Focus on yourself.
Great example, Matthew Fairbrother riding over 3,000 miles, and mine was like, okay, well, because like you said, he gets paid to ride, and like that's what he does all the time. So I always crack up though. Like I found he was like posting a picture on Strava, and it was like, this is a great snack, and it was like a bag of coleslaw. Like, you're crazy.
He is crazy, dude. He found in one of those crazy pickles that we have here, and they drank all the pickle juice out of it, and then he was gagging and throwing up. And
I have a funny story about that.
And I was like, what's going on? And then he looked at the back of the package. He goes, oh, bro, this is 3 times the amount of sodium they have in Australia, and they're like pickles in a pouch or whatever. He goes, this is 3 times the sodium. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. I'll get to it later on the ride that I did the other weekend.
Okay, cool.
I got a funny story about that too.
Looking forward to that. Similar to how I look forward to Daniel's fun fact. This was actually submitted by one of our listeners named Ben. On average, your body switches which nostril is dominant every 90 minutes.
That's interesting.
You ever notice that? Like sometimes
I notice it after I'm sick.
Like one's plugged and the other's not, and then like it switches.
Yeah, I feel like I'm much more left dominant than right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew this, and then he sent this to me, and I obviously checked. I fact checked it. That's right. Ben. And it can be from anywhere from like every 15 minutes to like a couple hours. So like 90 minutes is the average.
Nice.
But I thought that was extremely interesting.
I just know every time I'm sick, I just am grateful after the fact that I can breathe through both of them.
Seriously.
I'm starting to get some allergies in it. I definitely get a little buildup up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also to dive in. It's a byproduct of Crohn's disease to have more congestion.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That
is that because your immune system's kind of flaring
inflamed,
up?
Yeah.
Just like attacking more?
Yeah.
Wow. And also the wind probably doesn't help, all the stuff blowing around.
Yeah, that's why my allergies are flaring up.
Yeah, it's been
crazy, windy, and now we have
windy.
all the pollination, flowers and stuff. Yeah.
Brutal. Super brutal. You know what's not brutal is this fantastic testimonial. Always a great experience at WC. I buy from them because their YouTube channel and podcast are hilarious while providing valuable information.
Did you add that, Jared?
I did provide. I added valuable because he just while providing information. I'm like, yeah, well, of course it's information.
But you didn't put a name, dude. You could have. This could be fake.
I should have put the name. That's okay. It is a fantastic testimonial, truly, and true to the name of the segment. It is fantastic. Liam, why don't you tell us a little bit about the rides you've been enjoying lately in the bikes? You built up a new bike recently.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like every week has been.
I'm on a new bike building grind right now, but I'm about done.
You guys are both on a sick one right now.
What do you mean? I've been okay. Well, I have been like messing around with
Jared's been swapping hard.
Oh,
but well, I'm getting all my Revel bikes in for the season, so I've been on a sick one.
Yeah,
but I basically am done. But yeah, I got a Revel Rover built up, a fresh one because I had one before. The same frame size. They just sent me the new color,
which is very sick.
It's a sick color.
Sin City, right? Is that what they call
Sin City. It's like half black, half white.
It's sick.
Literally the perfect bike for you.
Yeah, it might be my favorite looking bike, like possibly next to my custom painted Ranger I had a few years back.
Yeah.
This bike looks real sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I built it up kind of for gravel racing, and I put a suspension fork on there, Zip 303 Explorer wheels. So those are like 32 inner. They're fat.
That is crazy.
And deep boys.
Fat, deep.
They're deep and fat, which is... It just is interesting.
They're honestly too gnarly.
They're insane.
Like
they look cool though.
Yeah.
So you said this is for like compliance and for aero.
There's no compliance.
Oh, there's none.
I don't think so.
Really?
Is aero in like tire formation,
aero
tire shape?
Yeah, aero and tire shape.
But when you see it from like a side profile, it's like
it looks sick.
Rig.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's something about those deep rims that just
look
so
a pic when you edit this.
Oh, for sure. Good call. Very purposeful looking.
Yeah, it's very purpose built. But yeah, so I built that up, and there's something about the way the Rover fits me. It feels so damn good. I rode it last weekend. Just my fit's really good. My like saddle position's perfect. So, yeah, that one I put a suspension fork on for my bunk little wrist, and it actually really helps.
Wow.
It feels really quite good off road. which gravel bikes don't normally.
Just taking it through Sycamore and stuff.
Yeah, I just took it through a Sycamore loop up Overlook downhill hill.
I'm sure it helps a ton when you're going through like some G-outs and like,
it's a constant chatter and like braking on it and stuff. So it helps. So I got that, and then I just have a road bike that I've been riding quite a bit on, just training on that. Putting some big rides the other weekend on it as well. So
it's getting some good base in.
Getting good base and workouts now. I'm on the Tideman's Trickle Down Training Program.
I like that.
Yeah, the TTT.
Yeah, Tideman got a coach.
TTTD.
He's on it.
Yeah, Tideman's got a coach, and I get the trickle down from the coach.
I like that.
Tideman's Trickle Down Training Program.
Techniques?
TTTP.
Tideman's
Trickle Down Training Program. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, doing some efforts and workouts and stuff just to, try to keep up.
Get ready for the season.
Yeah.
Nice.
Try to keep up with Tideman once we go ride again.
That boy's going fast.
Yeah, he's going fast right now. Yeah, pretty much it.
That's pretty sick.
Not too crazy, but yeah, I got the gravel bike going, so stoked on that.
Nice. What about you, Trevor? You had a pretty sick ride/race the other day.
Yeah, did the Trans Santa Ana, which Liam, Tideman, and I did last year. So I did it again this year.
Nice.
And I did it with Tideman. And so basically it's in Santa Ana, starts in Corona. And the idea is just the biggest day out there, just try and hit all the trails. And the big A route is about, I think, 58 miles and 10 or 11K.
On enduro bikes.
On enduro bikes, riding, and then all the downhills are like steep. And so the idea is they are timed based off of Strava downhills. So cruise to the top. It's like an enduro race, but low-key, local, for free on Strava for fun.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the best way to do it.
Nice. Like no support or anything.
The problem was it was about 90 degrees that day.
Yeah, it was hot.
And last year we did it. It was overcast and beautiful. But it was pretty hot. So I got my pack all ready the night before with a bunch of mix, and I had a bandolier of Uncrustables and just a bunch of snacks, a bunch of gummies and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And the trails are as steep as they could probably be.
For real.
For dry SoCal stuff, you're just going straight down the mountain and
wow.
And sending it because you're racing on Strava, right? So you're going as fast as you can. We've only ridden them once before last year, so it's kind of blind, which makes it fun. It makes it you're just on your toes and thinking about it the whole time.
You like kind of remember some sections, maybe.
Kind of maybe.
You said the first 4 were the same, and then they introduced 2 new ones.
Yeah, we did. What are the trail names? Smash Face was the first one, and then I think 3 Crosses is the second one. Goes down to a little marketplace where we kind of refuel. That's where I was going to talk about the pickle, because I got a pickle there, and it was the same pickle that Matthew had.
Yeah.
And after that first descent, first kind of 2 descents, we're, I don't know, 15 miles in or so, maybe 12 miles in, and I think we're already at like 4K, and just deep already.
Yeah, you climb up and over a big mountain, like
a huge mountain, and up Skyline, and I'm at the bottom of it, like hurting already. I'm just like, oh no, this is going to be such a big day. We're not even halfway done. The hard part.
So of your 250 miles or whatever you said you did almost a quarter of it on one day.
Yeah, and it wasn't off the couch, but it was more or less off the couch for this huge ride, which is fine. I've ridden bikes for a while now, But
you're seasoned.
I had already finished my whole 3-liter bladder and a bunch of food. Just
3 liters,
or 2.5, I think it is. Just it's the big UC one.
Yeah,
and so I was hurting pretty good and got water and stuff. I got a pickle and I was like, oh, perfect. I'm going to be burning so much sodium today. I need the sodium. So I got the pickle and I was eating it, chomping on it. Tideman got a funny video of me doing it or chomping on it, and I was drinking the juice too. And then he told me the Matthew Fairbrother story about how he yacked.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, I was eating the whole thing. I'm like, damn, I'm slowing down. I don't know if I can finish this whole thing. And I started to drink some of the juice, and I was like, it's pretty dang concentrated.
Yeah.
And I don't really mind the taste of it, but Tideman was like, well, Matthew had that and he threw up afterwards. So he's like, just be careful. So I ended up not eating the whole thing because I was not having it. So, but I had a Sprite and some more bars, and the lady at the marketplace gave us all ice. So I put ice in the pack, ice in the bottle. Yeah. I put ice in my neck and my helmet, just trying to cool my body down because it was pretty hot already. Then we had to go back up the mountain, up Black Star.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's a long, mellow fire road.
Yeah.
Like it is long.
And that's where I died a couple of my deaths.
Yeah.
And just was feeling good until we got to the climb, and it just got hot. And it was just
there's no shade.
No shade, no wind.
Brutal.
And just relentless. And so yeah, I just cruise to the top, kind of dying. And then we race a trail, I think it's called Monkeys or Three Monkeys, back down. It's kind of midway to the mountain. Really fun trail, my favorite trail. We were all ripping it, but it's a big effort. So then the next time up, I just started to cramp, and I got scared because I still had to make it up the whole mountain. And so I got nervous, and I had to just cruise. And luckily, the crew we were with was super cool, and they waited for me. But I was like, I'm cooked. And then,
dang.
The last trail we went down was called Tombstone. Super fun trail. Last year, I missed the entrance, and I went down a fire road instead, which was such a bummer. And this year, I made sure to do it, and it was super cool. One of the most
favorite trail from last year.
One of the most fun trails I think I've ever even done.
Really?
Yeah, it was epic. It was just huge descent, turns the whole way. The dirt wasn't good, but at the bottom it was good.
Really?
Because it had just rained a week prior, but it was still 90 degrees.
Wow.
And super fun. Troy Lee's son actually followed me down it. He was with us the whole time.
Nice.
It's actually his biggest ride. No complaining out of that kid, 18 years old.
Nice.
And super cool to see him kind of ripping that. But he was like, yeah, he's like, can I follow you? I'm like, well, I don't really know where I'm going. And I'm not going to be a hero right now because I'm about to cramp, you know? And
yeah,
he was just
that
ripping
trail
behind me.
too is like a lot of coming out of corners on off cambers, and you can get off it really quick.
Yeah. And it's just steep. So
yeah, it's got a lot of like these like swooping switchback kind of deals, and then like off camber traverse to the next like swooping switchback.
Yeah. So that was super fun. I'll tell you what, that ride sold me on Mavens.
Yeah.
I was like, Tybin had Mavens on his too, and no fading. They got super hot and super consistent lever feel the whole time. Like we've got them set up. So we've got them set up good now.
Nice.
And they are impressive. I think any other brake would have had a huge issue on Smash Face and on Tombstone. You're just on the brakes the whole time.
For sure.
So that was cool. So yeah, we did finish the bottom of that. At this point, I was 38 miles in and 8K, and I called it because I was just done.
Yeah.
I stopped having fun, and I'm just like, the downhill was fun. Obviously, I can kind of revitalize myself for that, but I wasn't about to climb the mountain like halfway up, like 2.5 more times to do these 2 other trails. And then Tiedemann did, and I think 10 or 12 other people did.
Wow.
They did the whole thing.
But last year was like 20 people, I think. So I think the heat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of people started really early. We live kind of far away from there, so people were starting at like 5:30.
Oh, geez.
We started at like 7:30. So just because we live an hour and a half, 2 hours away from there.
I mean, that's a big day in good weather.
Yeah.
Like
it was just gnarly hot.
Yeah.
And the last 2 trails Tiedemann said were some of the steepest trails he's ever ridden.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he actually KOM'd one of them, which was pretty cool.
Sick.
On his first run ever. Blind after a huge day.
Unreal.
Because he's just a ripper. So he ended up getting second overall. So it was like 48 miles. Yeah, 48 miles and like 10 or 11K.
For the full route.
For the full route.
Yeah.
And I did the B route. And so
Jeez.
Tiedemann got second. What's the guy who puts it on?
Downey.
Jacob Downey. He won, but he put the race on, so he knows him.
He knows the trail.
He said next year he's not going to win his own race, so he's going to have someone else put it on.
That's fair.
Because he just feels guilty about it.
Yeah.
But he also did trail work and stuff.
Yeah, and he knows the trails.
He knows the trails.
Of course, he's got advantage.
Yeah.
But Tiedemann was off by like 20 seconds.
No way.
Over like
that's so savage.
Over a long, like probably 30 minutes of racing, maybe more.
Wow. That's sick.
Pretty cool. And then that was that. I rode my Forbidden Druid. Trail 1 wheels, cast tires.
Yeah.
No issues. Pretty stoked on that bike.
I was going to ask you wheel tire combo.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Protagonist and antagonist.
Protagonist, antagonist. Rolled well, did well all day for me. So
you like those? They're consistent and everything?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even considering how loose everything was, it's great. Yeah, no issues. They're like kind of like a happy mix between downhill and enduro casing tires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a little mix between those two. And I think it's great for gnarly enduro rides.
Yeah.
Sick.
Like that.
Yeah, Tiedemann said he was on his Revel Ritual with Trail 1 rims, WTB Verdict and Judge.
Yeah,
Ooh.
downhill casing.
And he was loving his bike. He just texted me like, this bike effing rips.
Yeah.
Just like, that's always
his bike was not like fast rolling.
No.
It wasn't light.
No.
It's like he's got a Zeb on there too.
Yeah,
in a Vivid Air. Like
those tires,
they're so heavy.
Are like 1,400 grams, but they will not flat.
They are,
and they're just gonna like you can run them low,
super low,
and you can just rip them.
Yeah,
and Tyman's ripping right now. I rode with him this past week, and it was windy, but we rode a local trail with a bunch of turns on it and stuff. And I was following him. He was on his Rascal.
Oh yeah,
and he was just like fully leaning into the corner and just like ripping them. And I didn't really have the confidence to do that. I was on the same bike as the Santa Ana ride, just the Forbidden. And I was like, didn't have the confidence to fully like lean it over like him. And he was just committed to him on the shorter travel bike. I'm just like, dude, you're going so fast right now.
He's a beast.
He's putting it together.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Physically and, skill wise, it seems like he's really got it going on right now.
So that was my little epic journey.
Sick.
It was tough. It's fun to do hard things every once in a while though, just to push yourself physically and mentally to your limit. It's a little bit crazy, but I think we're all a little crazy for that, and we all love doing stuff like that. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like almost like kind of like a Misogi,
It was. I knew going into it that I was gonna die. Like as far as like my body was gonna give out on me.
Yeah.
I knew that like I can do all this. I wasn't really worried about riding the downhill or nervous for any of that, but I was nervous about how is my body gonna react to this heat. It hasn't really been hot the past couple months in LA. So
for sure, it's like the first
like
trial by fire.
Heat wave.
There's a heat wave for sure.
There's a heat wave, and it's like, dang. So
it came out of nowhere.
Like you can't drink enough salt for that stuff, and good on everyone for finishing that. It was definitely a super fun weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, honestly, just like from where you were at, having done whatever, 4 or 5, 6K, 8K, and then just having be like, okay, I'm going to go pedal back up and like do more. Like that's got to be mentally
I probably could have, but I wasn't in it anymore. And my main goal was to do Tombstone because I missed it last year, and I did it, and I was stoked, had a great time, didn't crash. It's like, cool, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
And Supercross was about to start too. So I had to watch Supercross.
Nice.
Have you ever done a 10,000 foot day, Jared?
No, dude.
No?
I think that Nosco is probably the most climbing I've ever done.
It's like 8K.
Was that 8K?
Yeah. That's a brutal day too.
That's a brutal day.
That is a hard day.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a hard day because you do 80 miles in 8K. You can do an easier 8K. Well, not easier, but I'd say less miles.
Yeah.
That's like a road bike ride that we'll do is like a memorial ride.
Yeah.
In the Malibu Mountains, and we'll do all the major climbs. But there's one called Deer Creek, which is just no one really wants to ride that for fun. It's just too steep.
I've only ever really done it on the Nosco ride. Like I ride past it every weekend, and I just am like, no.
No, it's just like savagely steep. That's the one that Derek Teal from Dialed Health did the double Everest.
That's actually insane.
Which is nuts.
I have some like a kind of a love-hate relationship with it because it is so brutal, and like I almost like think of it fondly because I'm like, oh, it's such a good test.
It's fun to do, to finish it and go through the little back road and go to Yerba and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a cool ride. But it is
epic.
If you don't have the gearing for it, like you're screwed.
Yeah. It is so epic up there. But like I don't know of a road that's steeper,
I mean, there's some
little pitches. Like
there's some, I know some like off roads, but this is like a public canyon road.
Yeah.
2-lane, right? Like,
right.
There's some single lane stuff.
For sure.
Like, half private or like not really traffic that are definitely steeper, but as a whole,
it's like
brutal.
A quote unquote, like, not major road, but a well-known road. Like, it is so steep. So yeah, it's like you get that feeling of, accomplishment when you crush that.
Like setting out to do something hard, doing it, and then, you feel good afterwards.
For sure.
It's a great feeling.
Absolutely.
That's a big part about riding bikes. It's like, it's not easy.
Totally.
And it's fun, but like a lot of it's not easy, especially if you're like, have never ridden an e-bike or something. It's always going to be a little bit hard.
Yeah.
But there's so much satisfaction that comes out of that. That's addicting. To me,
for sure.
It is too.
Satisfaction that you don't get from riding e-bikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, that's one thing I've heard multiple people say, like, they either like they had an e-bike and they sold it because they just didn't get the same satisfaction from riding it. Like, it's just a different type of fun that you get, right? Like you go out and you rip your favorite trail, you go fast, but you don't get like that gratification that like
there's no runner's high from an e-bike.
Exactly.
But you for sure get that on an analog bike.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Me too.
Love an e-bike too, but man, I find myself just picking up the analog bike more and more.
for sure.
Oh, I forgot to say, I have been riding a mountain bike a little bit.
You have?
Yeah.
How's that been?
It's good. I rode yesterday, and it's actually getting better.
Nice.
I rode like once a week for the last 3 weeks.
Nice. Did you set up your suspension soft at all? Or?
Super soft.
Super soft?
Yeah.
Just cruising?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite soft, like probably at least 5 PSI low in the fork and at least 10 low in the rear shock.
Yeah. Probably feels good to ride a full suspension though.
Yeah. And then, that's pretty much all I did. And I'm just running like low tire pressure because I'm not like pushing in the bike at all.
Yeah.
But, and I just want traction right now. Like
that probably helps a ton.
But yeah, I'm just trying to get the confidence back. So, but it's been nice. Monday was like felt better. I was like, okay, it's like a good step. Yeah. So
nice.
I'm stoked on that.
Very legit.
And the Rascal's so fun. Such a fun bike.
That's sick. I'm going to have to take out one of these Rascals one of these days. Have you ridden the new Rascal yet?
I have. I rode it when we got sent the Rascal when it first came out.
Yeah. Nice.
I rode it a couple of times. And yeah, honestly, I think it's the most fun bike I've ever ridden. Like, I've never ridden a bike that's so snappy and wheelies. It felt like if a skate park was in a bike, that's the bike for it. Like, it makes me want to like, I'm always big on doing little side hits and stuff on trails.
Yeah.
And that bike wants you to do that. Like my Forbidden, no.
Yeah.
My Forbidden wants to plow straight.
Yeah, they're both 130 bikes and
they couldn't be more different, which is really why I wanted to try it, because I just knew it was going to be so different, and it was, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so fun.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, just like, I mean, you can set it up to be more stable, like a 150 Lyric and like the Linear XL air can, and then, throw on some like really sticky rubber.
Yeah.
Where like it comes stock with like a 140 fork, the smaller air can, and it comes stock with like whatever, stock OEM tires.
Yeah, some beefier tires.
Yeah. So I have mine kind of in the middle right now, but you can make it more stable, or like I want it kind of fun and poppy. So
I think it would be something that would be pretty fun was to set that up with like downhill tires and go to a bike park.
Yeah.
But ride jump lines the whole time. It's kind of like the dirt. It feels like a dirt jumper, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It would be so fun. Me and my buddy Spencer, we went to Chris Burkhardt's house the other day, and he had like a little skate park. Dylan Stark built like a skate park out of dirt at his house. And my only mountain bike I have is the Forbidden, and so I brought that there, and it was so horrible for it.
It's just not the bike.
It's not the bike for it. I'm like trying to jump, and I'm like, dang, I suck.
The opposite.
Like
of
I can't even hit this jump right now because like the bike's so long.
Yeah,
and it just feels
and
awkward,
it grows
and
off the lip.
Yeah.
It grows, and it just feels weird. Yeah, it feels weird getting compressed into the lip, and I couldn't really like whip it all tight. But if I had a Rascal, that would be the most insane bike for something like that. Something tight and poppy and snappy.
But do you feel like the Rascal would have been? Do you feel like you would have been undergunned, like for instance, in the Trans Santa Ana?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. I would have been properly scared.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's like
with the way I have
trying to find the perfect.
It's
bike
crazy.
to do
like
all.
I have like with the Forbidden, there were some of these sections in Santa Ana that we were riding, and you're just like smashing. And you're in a straight line, it's all blown out, little baby heads and rocks everywhere, and didn't even care. That's my favorite feeling on a mountain bike. And I think if on the Rascal, it would have been scary.
Yeah, that's not the Rascal's strong suit.
Yeah. But that's what's so amazing about how differently that number of travel can be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Like 130, 140 can be delivered so differently, and it can completely change the capability and the characteristic of the bike and the personality of it.
Yep.
Which I find is so interesting about mountain bikes.
It is interesting. It's easy to think that like, it's like the bikes are all the same, but they're actually not.
No,
they're not at all.
They're far from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting.
Which is cool. I think for the two examples that we're talking about as well, they are pretty drastic differences. I think that most people could probably tell that on a trail. Like some bikes, maybe you couldn't tell so much, but these two in particular are so drastic.
For sure.
Difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like whereas maybe, like my SB140 and a Rascal, even though they're like 10 mil travel off, like they maybe share more of the same characteristic of being like a little more poppy and playful, and like a little more.
They're a little more similar.
A little more similar versus like the Druid is like in this crazy.
It's just in its own category.
It is totally in its own category.
It's a strange bike, but I love it.
It's strange, but it's
I'm infatuated with it.
Rad, very cool. Well, I haven't done anything nearly that cool.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
I mean, like I was saying before, just trying to be consistent and like, kind of doing new versions of like what we do all the time. you know, like riding around the neighborhood, but maybe taking like a different, like going in a different direction or taking a different trail than I normally would, or like kind of just exploring the backyard a little more, you know? And it's crazy how you can live somewhere for years and still do something new. Like, I think, you know,
that's what I love about this place.
all the lines
there's
and all
always
the trails. And I'm like, well, I didn't even know that was even like there.
Yeah, there's always some new trails.
Yeah. So
that have been there, but you just haven't found them yet.
Right. And just like, you think, you know, like, oh yeah, I do the best route all the time. Like whatever, I know what I'm doing. Right. But then you're like, oh wow, that was actually kind of fun and different. And so yeah, it's like just a reminder to, even like for myself, I can get like burned out on doing the same like neighborhood loop or whatever, you know, and I'm just trying to remind myself like, oh, maybe let's just tweak it a little bit this time. Like maybe go in a different direction, or maybe like add on a different trail or start from a different trail, you know?
Jared, I got to show you some other trails, man.
Oh yeah, I know, but like,
I'm going to blow your mind, man.
I know.
you got to go ride.
I got to show him Reseda.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was going to say that's like bring your 140 and go ride Reseda, and you can hit 4 new trails that are just mind-blowingly sick.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. But you know what I mean? It's like when you get home from
it's like a 40-minute drive.
You know, that's the thing though. It's like when I get home from work, or now that we have more daylight, it's nice. But like, I feel like I tend to gravitate more towards like an evening or afternoon ride, and like I'm not going to go drive after work to go ride somewhere typically.
Yeah.
But like I'm more inclined to go do that before work. But after work, I'm just like, all right, just change and go for a ride. Because I'm like, well, you know.
Well, yeah, that's why you live in a sick neighborhood. But
yeah, the daylight savings thing is going to be sweet. Like on Sunday, it was the first day of daylight savings, and I went on an e-bike ride, but it was a 2-hour ride, and we started at 5, and we rode till 7 sunset. It's like nice. So awesome. Just like felt like I had more of a day.
Yeah,
you know.
For sure.
Just had a productive morning, and then got to just hang out and ride bikes in the afternoon. It's like that's so awesome. Or like after work rides. Like the whole wintertime cutoff is so rough. It's so rough.
It's brutal.
So that's another big reason why I was wanting to work out a lot too. Just like, what else are you going to do? Just like hit the gym.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You can only night ride so much.
Yeah. I did a couple night rides. Those are fun.
They are fun.
You can only do those so much. I agree.
Yeah. You know, and you got to remember to charge the lights all the time. What a pain. Well, what do you guys say we go for a quick break and we jump in with some listener questions?
Let's do it.
Awesome. And now, a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Saddle Sauce. Is your chamois dry but your stomach empty? Stop choosing between saddle stores and starvation. Introducing Saddle Sauce, the world's first friction-fighting chamois cream that's actually delicious. It's medical-grade protection for your undercarriage that doubles as a high-calorie snack. Why carry gels when you're already wearing 3 ounces of flavor? Choose your finish, minty motivating, salted caramel cadence, or espresso endurance. Saddle Sauce. It's the only cream that tastes better the longer you ride. And now, back to the show. All right, let's hop back in. Listener questions. You want to read that one, Trevor?
Yeah, sure. So after a 2-year battle with a chronic health issue, I'm back on the bike and have started training for the ORAM race here in Western North Carolina. The race is usually around 63 miles with 9,000 feet of climbing. Recently purchased a new Stump Jumper 14 comp from a local shop because I needed something versatile. So you can imagine it's a bit of a pig for this application, but I don't really have the money to get a lighter XC bike that I won't use after the race. I do, however, have $1,000 to make my bike lighter. None of the trails involved are very rowdy, some roots and rocks, but not like true Pisgah riding. So to make an already long email longer, here's my question. Where would you spend the $1,000 to try and cut some weight on the bike? Mega bonus points if I can order the parts from Worldwide. And I'm open to used parts if y'all have anything you want to offload. My goal is to finish the race because there's no chance I'm going to win it. For $1,000.
Yeah.
Tires.
For sure, wheels and tires, right?
Well, you can't really get
light wheels
for $1,000. That was my thought.
I know, that's true.
So $1,000 tires, and I'd probably go cassette cranks.
Or maybe some XC shoes.
Yeah, maybe, but
for sure those aren't cheap either.
But I think cassette cranks you can continue using.
That's
like a nice cassette
true.
Is also lighter and like performs better.
True,
right? Like because
significantly lighter too.
Yeah, 14 comp probably comes with like an NX or GX cassette, and those are boat anchors compared to like a really nice cassette.
That's true.
And I'd probably just do that because you're not going to use it after the race. Tires are going to be your biggest thing, and like, if you're also not going to use it after the race, why buy lightweight wheels to never run again?
Yeah.
Like tires, you're not going to run $200 tires, but like you have them for next time, or, given the local XC group or something.
That's a great point, Liam. Because in my head, I was thinking like 100% get some lighter wheels and tires, but then you have a set of wheels that is not being used all the time.
Yeah.
When you could upgrade something that will be used all the time. What a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe like spend some money on some nice comfy grips, like some Hell's Gate grips or some foam grips if you like those.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just to be comfortable, and I don't know, spend the rest of it on nutrition and beer.
Maybe some, there you go.
Nutrition's not cheap.
Nutrition, maybe a saddle, maybe a nice chamois.
Yeah.
Chamois cream.
For sure. We were just on that chamois cream. What else? Cockpit, easy
stuff
ones
to make your day better, but
carbon.
Yeah.
Maybe a carbon bar.
Could do that.
You could really upgrade a lot of stuff with $1,000 if you think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a lot. You could really, bougify that bike quite nicely. That's pretty good. I like that. Tell us how you want us to spend your money and we'll do that. That is a great question.
We're good at that.
All right. How about this one? If your riding style had a warning label, what would it say?
Well, my roommates would always get pretty mad at me for like fishtailing on the trail, or like I want to like explode a corner or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's very inconsiderate to the riders behind me because it's always dusty here and it looks cool.
Feels cool.
In a video, maybe.
Yeah.
But in real life, your friends are just pissed at you.
Yeah.
So my warning label would say, go in front. or don't follow too close.
Yeah.
Bad lines, good times.
That's funny you say that, Trevor, because I was going to say mine would be don't follow me. Liam could probably attest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe don't follow too close.
Yeah.
Don't pull up for what Jared's pulling up.
Yeah.
Because he might case and break a rim.
Yeah, maybe. Or flat a tire.
I've seen you case a jump.
I've seen you case a few things.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would agree. Like sometimes if you're following like someone who can just like make things happen, sometimes that's not a good idea because like sometimes or most of the time actually, if I'm riding a trail and there is like a optional line, I'm probably going to take it because it's just not as like boring as the normal line. Not that the normal line's boring, but it just makes it a little more spicy.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready for that. Like I'm gonna hit some rocks on purpose, instead of hitting the smooth single track, just because it's fun to do.
Or a side hit. Liam, what's your warning label?
I don't know what mine would say. I feel like it's almost like a nickname. Like you almost have to give it to someone else.
I think if I were gonna give you a warning label, it would say, "Do not try and keep up with me on the climb."
Because the last, or not the last time, but one time I tried to do that up Guad. And I nearly threw up at the top. we were going pretty good, like solid effort at the top.
Yeah.
And then like last couple switchbacks, just like we're just hammering each other, just trying to rip each other's legs off. And I was just like holding on for dear life. And the last bit gets pretty steep. I remember at the top, like I just like had a meltdown because my heart rate was so high.
If I'm doing it right, I'll ramp. I'm like ramping. Right?
It was a ramp for sure.
I'm holding it at like 85 and then I'm like 90, 95. And then the last bit, I'm like pushing hard. I'm not going like 100 and then like trying to hold on to what I can. It's like, I definitely try to finish the strongest possible.
Nice.
If I'm like planning it or.
That was brutal. I remember having to like sit down at the top. I was looking at the ocean, looking at the ocean. I'm like, this is beautiful.
I do remember Trevor's like, I need a minute. And he's like, walk 10 feet away.
Just sat down and just like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to survive this. We're good. Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say. I feel like I'm pretty cautious on line choice sometimes. I mean, I definitely pull for stuff or like take side hits or.
If you know you can.
And I can like, bunny hop my way out of like a sketchy situation sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll pull for it if you know you can make it. I'll pull for it if I think I can make it.
Yeah. I've got a, BMX background. I can usually yank pretty good when I need to.
BMX background mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Everyone says, I have a BMX background.
Well, so everybody who's good always has BMX background.
Yeah.
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 That's funny.
All right. This is an interesting question. Why do you think there aren't more dual crowns on long travel enduro bikes and e-bikes? When you see forks like the Podium, which is almost the same weight, it seems like a no-brainer. There are far more benefits from a dual crown fork than just travel. Stiff front end, precision steering, more control, no CSU creaks, and your handlebars will always be lined up with a direct mount stem. Years ago, MRP came out with the Bartlett, which was a 170-190 dual crown enduro fork with a 15 mil through axle. Thought it was genius, but it never took off. I think if Fox or RockShox came out with this, it may have gained more traction. Cheers, love the podcast, Rob. Well,
I mean, we have a lot of local guys that do put dual crowns on their crest lines.
We do.
The problem is turning radius.
That's what I was gonna say.
That
it's turning radius.
Like if for a downhill bike, you don't need to turn the thing.
You're not going up switchbacks.
No,
yeah, true.
You're just like you're steering the ship, right?
True.
You're not doing anything like turning technical.
I think that is honestly the biggest thing, Liam, is
I think it's one
uphill
of the only things.
Switchbacks.
Yeah.
Because with the downhill switchback, you can get away with, kicking the rear out.
Yeah.
But climbing, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't really work.
It doesn't work.
So if you're at a bike park, if you're out a downhill track all day.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
But then you're not really going to, e-bikes, there are places like Rocky Peak, you could ride one because you're just climbing Fire Road and then ripping pretty fast, straightish trails, right? There's no
But even the moment that you hit a trail with a tight turn on the downhill and you lean it and you turn, you get to the point where you can't turn anymore and the bike starts to lean, you just fall.
Yeah.
You're going down.
You just you're down with the ship, There's no there's no adjusting that.
Yeah.
It's pretty sketchy, honestly.
Yeah.
That is kind of a bummer because they do offer a, mechanical advantage, in the stiffness department and the steering precision, and just front end traction confidence,
Yeah. You definitely ride dual crown. You're like, wow, this is gnarly. But also, I don't think many people are out riding Zebs or 38s. Those things are so burly.
They're so good now.
Yeah.
You have to be riding something pretty gnarly to be pushing the limits of a Zeb or a 38.
That would be the same argument. Why isn't Richie Rude on a dual crown fork for enduro racing?
Yeah.
He's riding the gnarliest stuff, the fastest guy in the world.
He's got to turn.
He's not out riding a Podium or a 38,
Yeah.
So,
I would be interested to try that one Intent. Don't they have an Intent fork that has the dual crown on one side?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they have only a left side dual crown.
Which is very...
I'm going to look that up. That's interesting.
But it doesn't use a direct mount. It uses a standard...
That's a regular stem. Well, I guess it kind of
a standard stem, yeah, because it wouldn't have to. You could have it extended plate out.
Uh-huh.
But
I saw Brett Reeder running that a while back, years ago probably.
But yeah,
it's an enduro fork.
Yeah, it just runs as a spacer.
Yeah,
under the stem. Yeah.
So the advantage of that is just to make it a little more stiff, right?
Yeah.
To just have a,
Yep. They could probably save a little bit of weight in the lowers because they're increasing some stiffness up top.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you don't see a lot of upside down dual crown forks aside from the Dorado. That's the only one, right?
That I know of.
Yeah.
At least is made currently, yeah.
Or the Intent fork.
Or the Intent,
the push one is upside down single crown.
Yep.
That would be sick. Dual crown fork.
Does DVO still have the Sapphire? No, it's the Emerald or something.
I don't know what DVO makes right now.
Yeah, me either.
Gosh, you really don't see DVO that much or as much as you used to.
But I am a fan of while we're on the subject of it, I am a fan of having at least if you're on an e-bike, the most suspension possible.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about this a lot the last couple of days because of the new Levo that just came out. There's shorter travel one.
Yeah.
And I was just riding the Crestline e-bikes 180 travel.
Yeah.
Thinking to myself I'm not using the whole travel all the time. Even if I'm climbing, all good. I'm using just a couple mils of travel, it's just soaking everything up a little bit better. When you're on trail, it's not using full travel, but the moment you need it, you have it.
Yeah.
And it's you might as well.
On an e-bike for sure.
I think if you're in a spot that truly you'll never use it, then sure. But that's
it's such a specific case.
That's Texas, and
even
that
that's
type
you
of
probably
stuff.
don't almost need an e-bike.
But I was riding it this weekend and hitting these little jumps and stuff that would be super fun on a short travel bike.
Mm-hmm.
But on the 180 travel bike, you can still preload the bike and pop it up and land the flat and it's like not harsh and it's fun, all good.
The Crestline, I think, is also unique in that regard because of the suspension design. Like
the VPP on it?
It still feels really good, even though it has a lot of travel. Like it still is fun on the lower, like on the more mellow stuff.
Yeah, like it could feel just like a big boat.
Yeah,
it has a lot of support in it.
Yeah,
so
it is supportive.
You don't wallow.
Exactly. Yeah, whereas other like super long travel bikes, you might feel like you're lost in the sauce, you know?
Well, you've ridden your 165 with a dual crown. How was that?
Well, I loved it, but you know,
was it like you rode it locally, right?
It also just made it way less practical.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
it's a sharp knife.
Yeah. So like it's really fun, you know, like when we took it to Big Bear, but like I'm not doing that all the time. Like so
it sat around a lot.
Exactly. So like my current 165, it's like way more approachable. Like I can go ride it on a trail ride or like a bigger ride. You're not gonna do that with the bike with a dual crown fork. Like
no. Did you ever pedal it around locally?
A couple times. Yeah. And like it actually still climbed pretty well.
It's just heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. And like you look,
and you can't do switchbacks.
You can't do switchbacks, and you look crazy doing it.
Yeah,
climbing on a bike with like basically a downhill bike. You know, you look crazy, and it feels crazy. But yeah, it's really fun downhill. But like on the 165, it was interesting because I felt like almost like the front was outmatched for the rear because there was such a huge disparity in the travel. Like a 203 mil fork with a 165.
Oh, you didn't lower it at all?
No. Which I feel like if you had like a 180 travel bike, it's probably more appropriate. But I mean, for bike park, probably didn't matter as much. But like on a sustained like downhill trail with huge compressions, I was like, oh man, I could probably use more travel
in the rear.
Yeah, compared to the front. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah,
I know. I see not really a ton of our customers are doing it, but with the dual crowns and the e-bikes, like there's a lot of guys just in LA in general who do that. And like these guys are just sending it.
Yeah.
They're not really riding all the different trails. Like we do kind of ride as many different trails as possible.
For sure.
These guys are just sticking to like the gnarly stuff, the big jumps, the jump lines, the Rocky Peak kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very like a specific area of style of riding, I would say.
Yeah, super localized. But that's like perfect for that. If I had a Crestline, like I would be super tempted to put a dual crown fork on it.
Yeah. I just feel like you're just limiting yourself a little bit though.
Yeah, you for sure are. You're like, I'm either riding Rocky Peak or
I would do it for like the summer for bike park season.
Yeah.
And then take it off.
Yeah.
You know? If you have the means and access to do that.
Yeah.
So
it is a very interesting proposition.
Yeah.
You know, because that's also a thing, kind of like to this guy's point, you'd never see a downhill e-bike. Like Forestall made one, but it was kind of like a Sirion with
they just put a dual crown on a Sirion, yeah.
Right? Like you never see a dedicated downhill e-bike.
It makes sense.
I mean, 180 Crestline's pretty darn close.
It's close. It's pretty much as close as you can get. But yeah, I find that interesting. You know, if we're shuttling to the top, like why isn't it just a purpose-built downhill bike with a motor?
There's not too many times riding that 180 mil Crestline where I'm just like, I wish there was more travel.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this is awesome. I have a ton of travel.
I know.
You know?
He should offer it as like a total downhill bike. That'd be sick. But I guess it's frame only, so people do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, Silent, Crestline, whatever he is. He always runs a dual crown on his Crestline.
Yeah. Because that's kind of his style. Is like fire road up to the
fire road, send it down, and he has 50-foot jumps in his backyard. Like not kidding. Yeah. He has like 50-foot step ups in his yard.
He's not riding trails with switchback.
No.
Crazy.
And if he does, he has another e-bike for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
True. Wow. What a great discussion on dual crowns.
Yeah.
All right. Liam, you want to read this next one?
No. Love the pod, especially listener questions and info about new gear. In a recent episode, you mentioned that Revel had released a new Ranger, maybe Rascal.
Oh, and the exciting upgrade was new colors.
Yeah, new Rascal.
Oh, yeah.
Ranger is unchanged.
Right.
The frame, but he said the frame was unchanged. One point. Made me think of the new Transition Spur, where, as far as I know, is that what that is?
This is actually before the new Spur came out. So he sent this like a week before the Spur came out.
Okay.
So I thought that was a pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the past few years was UDH compatible rear triangle. Is there no room for improvement, or are these companies spending the R&D on other bikes, especially e-bikes? How much of a role do component upgrades, for example, suspension, play in driving changes to bike design? I suspect the component manufacturers are probably focused on e-bikes too. Tom.
It's pretty interesting because the Spur, I feel like the new one was kind of criticized. Not really criticized, but a lot of people were like, I'm just going to get the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I think geometry is where it is.
Right.
I don't think it really needs to be changed. I think there's some different flavors, like back to the Rascal and the Druid.
Yeah.
There's different flavors, right, of suspension design and how a bike should handle. Like, those are both 130 bikes, but wheelbase is probably 40 mil different. Rear end's way longer on a Druid, so on. I don't know if there's not room for improvement, but we say it all the time. There's a plateau.
Yeah.
And I don't think just making a bike half a degree slacker and half a degree longer and this and that, like
just to change it
is much
any better.
It's getting tough for these bike product managers to make a new exciting bike because the bikes are good.
Yeah.
Bikes are good, and I think the next small ticks will be like a big dive frame stiffness, weight savings or optimization, right? Like
kind of like we're seeing with like that Pivot and Ibis, like those super kind of lighter like 120 mil bikes.
Yeah, and
which this, I mean, I don't know how light the Spur is, but
I think it.
I don't think it's that.
I think it got criticized for also being
because they added, I think, down tube storage, which I don't know. I'm kind of hit or miss on down tube. What do you? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think when it first came out, it was cool. I was running Specialized bikes when those came out, and it was kind of all the rage, putting donuts and stuff in there, burritos, whatever. But it ended up being something that like I would forget that something's in there.
Yeah,
and it would get gross.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's great on like a trail or enduro bike. I don't think a short travel bike really needs it.
No,
and nor do I. That's where I want the weight savings, right? Like,
right.
You're gonna add 100 grams on the frame because you want to put a door there. Like, just leave it off.
Yeah, forget it.
Like on my Druid, I have a little compartment. A little compartment in there, and I don't use it, to be honest.
You don't put anything in there.
Not even a tube or anything.
I mean, I have like I've made a little kit like you have for myself, and I just carry it with me.
Yeah.
In my bib.
Yeah.
And I've got so much stuff in that now. That's like everything I need for this get home safe kit kind of deal. That it might fit in there, but it also might rattle around.
That's the thing.
And I don't want something. I'm such a crazy person about my bike being quiet.
Yeah.
So I like if something's rattling around in there, I'm gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
That's
the one
I
about
just
the
carry it with
one.
me.
It's like it could fit a tube maybe, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. But like, how do you secure it in there? You know,
I think I had like some foam,
or something.
Like
I think a Tubelito would be good in there, just to have it all times.
Yeah,
but then I wanted like a CO2 and all that stuff, and that's just gonna rattle. So it's tough with the other stuff, like the down tube frame storage. It comes with a little baggy, whatever. Most of these bike companies are coming with a little bag.
Yeah,
and that keeps things tight and quiet, which is good. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing that companies are starting to do, which is just like, again, we're like talking about nitty gritty details, but like making a bike quiet, right? Like getting the cable routing dialed, making it straight, making it easy to feed through the bike, clamping it on every end so it doesn't shake around.
Yeah.
And then also like bearing and serviceability and longevity of like the bikes are also getting improved.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is one thing that they did with the Spur as well, was they put the brake line inside, where transition was like, I feel like for the longest time was like, we're keeping the rear brake on the outside.
Yeah.
But
I didn't look at the new one too much, but I think the Spur's a pretty cool bike.
It is, for sure, a pretty cool bike. I remember when it came out and it was kind of a game changer. But yeah, I mean, I feel like honestly adding a storage is kind of just cop out for another feature.
Like a new feature.
Yeah.
I mean, the Spur is like not an XC race bike.
No.
Like
it's like a downcountry proper
bike. It's a downcountry bike.
Yeah.
It actually, it's a little, I'd say it's a little on the squishy side if you don't have like a lockout or fly attendant or something.
For sure. Downcountry.
Because transitions are normally like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, being horse link and whatnot. I did remember that too. It was a little more bobby.
Tuned. Yeah, just tuned for the downhill feel and like small bump compliance versus like, like basically on a flex day, which is that flex day? Or is that horse link? I think that's flex day. No, I think that's flex day.
Spur?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I thought it was a horse link.
Yeah, no, it's flex day.
Really?
Yeah, all the other bikes are horse link. you kind of have two ways to tune it. You either have the flex come in at the end of the travel, which is like the Yeti ASR and the Spur do this. So it's really soft off the top. You take the shock out and you can feel this. Take the shock out and it's really soft, and then you can push it and you feel it start to like get harder and harder and it flexes. The Yeti must have a good shock tune or something to like counteract that. Because it is nicer to pedal than a Spur, at least less
and then
bob.
it feels bottomless.
Yeah, it feels bottomless. And then you have the Epic, which is the opposite. You take the shock off and actually has like a pretty hard initial like flex and then regression.
It's aggressive too.
Yeah.
Like the first part supple stops, and then it'll like if you're moving the rear triangle up, it'll shoot forward.
Yeah.
Like aggressively.
Really?
Yeah. And it's when I used to have that, when I first took the shock off, that like blew my mind. I was like, that's insane.
Interesting. So they're tuning that so the Flex Stay works as a climbing platform in the kinematics. So
it is a Flex Stay.
Yeah. Anyways, to answer this guy's question, there's small room for improvement, but I think bikes are pretty darn good where they're at.
Yeah, I think kind of to your point, like, you know, sustainability and, you know, kind of durability are huge.
Yeah.
Just in the bike industry, like we want our bikes to be serviceable. You hate to see people having to warranty a bike because of like a bearing tolerance issue.
Yep.
You know, or something like that. Like that's a bummer. That's wasteful. So yeah, if you can have a really serviceable bike that is, you know, optimized in all other aspects, I mean, what else can you do? Like you said, you're not going to just slacken a bike for the sake of it, especially, you know, like a downcountry bike where you're going to compromise the geometry in another aspect if you're just going to make it longer and slacker for the sake of it.
Yep.
Gosh, a little doom and gloom there, but
I mean, no, I'd say I see it as a good thing. Like,
it is. Yeah.
Bikes are sick.
Yeah.
And like to that point, like your old Spur, it's not that outdated.
True.
Right? Like
it's very true.
It's kind of like, yeah, dude, spend some money on some new suspension and new wheels because those are getting better each year.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
Like a Pike from a few years ago to a new Pike, like solid difference. Like, you know,
very true.
There's 1,000-gram wheel sets now that can actually take abuse.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a good point.
That's some sick improvements. But yeah, frames are going to be small improvements, I think, for the next 10 years.
They're just getting refined.
Yeah, refinements.
Great points. Because, yeah, I do agree. I think that, like, for people who already have a bike like this, there's not a lot of things that are, like, super meaningful upgrades in the frame that make you want to upgrade it. But there are in the components.
Yeah. And I'd even, like, in frame weight, while they can make bikes lighter, like, unless you're properly racing XC, right? It doesn't matter.
No.
Frame weight does not matter.
No.
You can strap a water bottle on, strap your flat kit on.
Yeah.
You know, did you take a dump that morning or not? That's 2 pounds, right? Like, that's more than the frame weight savings from one generation to the next.
For sure.
So,
yeah. I mean, great points. I think that, like, for sure.
Wheels and tires.
Wheels and tires.
Suspension
and brakes.
Optimization is coming in other areas instead of on the frame itself.
Yep.
Wow. Super meaningful and insightful conversation there, guys. All right, I'll read this one. Hey guys, love the pod. Could you provide advice and insights into my failing tubeless setup? Lately, I have been continually getting small punctures, not more than 2 millimeter, that won't seal in the middle of the tread of the rear tire. The punctures continually let a small amount of pressure out, just a couple of PSI, during a 1 to 2 hour ride. Problematically, however, the punctures spray sealant throughout the ride. The holes never seem to fully seal. A week later, the same holes will spray again, a bit of sealant out. Now the back of all my riding shorts look like a Jackson Pollock canvas that won't come off in the wash. I've tried unsuccessfully to insert a bacon strip tire plug, but the holes are too small to insert the tool. Punctures are being caused by small, sharp rocks on the trails. I ride mostly in the Santa Monica Mountains on trails that were bulldozed and fire breaks during the Palisades fire last year. The dozers broke up the underlying rock bed into fields of shards that have not been fully covered by soil. My setup is an EMTB running Maxxis Mini DHR2 double down casing in the rear and muck off sealant, all purchased from WC. Yay. I'm thinking of changing my setup to some of the following and appreciate your thoughts. Use a different sealant, rotating through multiple rear tires and patching from the inside, abandoned tire plugs. Is there a plug that can fit in a small hole on a downhill casing? Running a tubeless setup with no sealant, Then when a tire flats, throw in a tube to finish the ride. Or finally, run a tube and carry a spare. Thanks for the help, Dale.
Well, I have a quick answer.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the muck off thing.
I was gonna say I have 3 quick ones that should solve everything.
This stuff is the bane of my existence.
First one, muck off.
Has to go.
Put standard orange seal in.
Yeah.
Not endurance, but just standard orange seal. That might solve all your problems right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Second, Dynaplugs.
Oh yeah.
Dynaplugs are so sick. They work on small holes, big holes. They work on the smallest holes, which is great. They have really sharp ones. Or every hole is pluggable. Just matters how many plugs you put in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some tears might not be pluggable, but like
pretty much.
I always have a Dynaplug on me at all times when I ride a bike.
I've been wanting to get Dynaplug actually.
You don't have one?
Well, I have the WTB rocket plug tool.
Yeah,
but it's just a little too bulky.
Yeah. You gotta. I run like sometimes on a bike ride. I have 3 different plugs on me.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah,
just Dynaplug, Standstar, and Bacon Strip.
My household's got like Dynaplug just laying around everywhere. He's just in the garage. He's like, oh look, a Dynaplug.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what about downhill casing?
I was gonna say my third one would be a downhill casing.
Yeah, not like up double down to downhill casing. You're on an e-bike. It's already 50 pounds.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he's getting small holes in the double down casing.
So too.
And I literally think that your sealant isn't working.
Yeah,
it has to,
because your sealant should definitely plug. If it's too small to plug, it should absolutely be sealed by sealant
for sure.
When's the last time any of us got like a proper flat with like from a small little hole, from like a thorn or something like that?
Last time that happened to me, I mean, I was in a similar situation where the plug was too big to fit in there, but it did eventually seal on its own.
Yeah, I mean,
because I had orange.
I think the last time I flatted was Downeyville, dude.
Wow.
Dude, I think the last time I flatted was at Whistler with you.
Really?
And
that doesn't count though.
On the bike park?
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, it was a sick move though. Like I flatted on the A-line drop. Like, when you come up over the A-line drop, you come up to it and you have the rock slab and then you drop off the rock slab. I took a different line. I was following someone and I think I went more left than normal. Pinch flatted square edge on that top.
Yeah.
And then off the drop, I heard a landed, strapped the berm because I was low on sealant. And then I literally pulled off, mixed the next jump. And I was all like slow and pro, came to a stop, like unclipped my back foot over the back, saw it, stopped it, threw my thumb on it, pulled my kit out, Dynaplug, popped it, put it back in, and met Jared. And we were with Matthias and met him on the trail. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, I'm flatted, but I plugged it. I'm good.
Like a cowboy.
Like, no, nothing.
Like a cowboy.
Like a cowboy.
Slick with it.
Slick Rick. That might have been my last flat.
Jeez.
That's
pretty
remember.
Sick.
Yeah. Did I flat Downeyville? No. I don't think I flatted Downeyville.
Because when I flatted and I totally ripped the tire open, it was a Forecaster, and I had the brand new WTB pill, and I used, I want to say like
3 or
4, and then that still didn't even work. And we had, I think Liam had bacon strips. I think those worked. It was just stressful.
And that was 0. It was probably like 6 minutes after Trevor said,
I'm gonna take a chill.
It's run 1. I'm taking a chill.
Well, you get into like a flow state and you like stop thinking.
Yeah.
And you ride better that way.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just hit stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I'd say orange seal, Dynaplugs. That doesn't work downhill casing. And you can get a downhill casing now with Max Terra rubber.
Yeah.
Which is the move for the e-bike.
For sure.
Yeah. You don't want to max grip downhill rear because you're going to smoke that tread in like a couple rides.
Yeah. Or like Conti Cryptotol rear.
That too.
Soft.
Yeah.
Not super soft, but soft is like, dude, it'll last you a whole year.
If you really want some that last and doesn't flat.
I was gonna say Judge or
no, the Judge would be sick. Yep.
Or,
Judge downhill or
Verdict,
Michelin too.
Or Michelin.
Yeah, the Michelin's last a while too.
Michelin Enduro MS or MH or even the DH16 would be a great rear tire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like I've run Michelin for like a year now, and I had 0 issues.
No.
Yeah, and just nothing. No problems. All good.
Yeah.
There's so many tires I want to try. I just don't have enough time to
I know it is.
try.
It is an issue to try them all.
Literally have to be like Matthew Fairweather riding all the time to bring it full circle to try all these tires.
Yeah, it is hard to test tires,
especially when it's not like park season or anything too.
Yeah,
you gotta pedal everything.
It's hard. It is actually hard to run a tire out.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm starting to wear out the protagonist, but it's we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we got time for one more question. What do you think, boys?
I'll read this last one.
Cool.
Love the rad hang with the boys.
You.
My question relates to the rise in handlebar rise on stock bikes over the recent years. I've experimented with going from 20 mil rise on my 2021 SB130 setup to 35 mil rise bars, since the newer SB140 comes stock with 35 mil rise. I really like this setup. Feels more enduro without feeling bad on the climbs. Are the SB130 and 140 bikes close enough geo-wise for higher rise bars for this change to make sense, or am I making a cruiser bike out of my well-dialed shredding machine? Thanks. No, I say run it.
Run it, dude.
Yeah, like they did that to follow the trend.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that because the 130 and 140 geos any drastic
pretty similar.
They're pretty similar.
It's very similar, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that to follow the trend, and yeah, it's just 10 years ago when I started here, trail bikes were coming with 740 mil wide XC bars, and like that was the first upgrade. It was like a 780 bar with 20 mil rise.
Yeah. I saw a funny picture on Instagram last night. It was of Sam Hill back in the day racing downhill, and it was a magazine quote and said Sam Hill is running 720 wide bars for added stability.
Yeah.
He was on an iron horse. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
I run 720s on my XC hardtail.
Oh,
and
my
that's
God,
like
dude.
Teeny.
Imagine running that on a downhill bike.
No way.
Crazy.
No way. Honestly, when I switched from 20, it's so funny how 15 millimeters makes that big a difference. But I did the same thing on my SU140 with the Trail 1 bars, and I'm like, this is so much better.
Yeah, I think it really depends on your preference and your portions of your body.
Yeah. It does.
Look at the stack height too on the bike.
I was gonna say 130 and 140 don't have a big stack.
No,
so like your Druid does have big stack.
Yeah. So like when I had an SB140, I was running 35 mil rise bars, pretty high stack on the steer as well, because the stack height or the head tube on the
short head
tube pretty small.
Yeah.
So the Druid, quite the opposite. It's pretty big, and I have a bigger fork on it too. So yeah, I went with the 20 mil rise bars, and that just fits me better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go to a higher rise than that for that bike.
On the Druid.
Yeah. But some people go extreme with it. I know buddies that have the same bike, and they're like on like 45 mil rise, and I'm just like, nah.
And
look at Dakota Norton.
Yeah.
It drops down to your preference and your proportions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, no, you're not making a cruiser, bro.
No.
If you had some 80 mil risers, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick, though. Just kidding.
I mean,
you do.
What does Dak run? Does he run 80 mil?
I don't know.
I think so.
Or like 70 or?
I think he was running 80, but he was bending those, so he went down a little bit.
I saw they're taking a Florida bar measurement, and Dak's actually weren't that tall. And then also under sag, because he runs a really weird fork setup
compared to like Jackson's setup, right?
Yeah,
really, like, softer?
So they're doing like a stack height. They did a stack height to body height ratio, and Jackson's was actually like one of the highest.
Oh,
yeah,
he's like stands straight up on his body. Yeah, because he's not tall.
He's like on an elliptical.
Yeah, no, literally. And then Dak also I don't know the details, but he runs a soft fork with a lot of compression.
Interesting.
So it sags down, and the bars keep his body up in a higher position.
Very interesting.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I haven't ridden this bike, but
it's interesting. You can go crazy with it, but if you're riding a trail bike, don't go crazy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 35s are good. I mean, 45s, 50s, maybe getting up there, but
I feel like when you get above 35, you're getting into territory that, you might notice some more significant changes in how the bike is riding.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like you're weighting the front end and like stuff like that. Whereas 35 is like, it might actually benefit you in your body position to where you're more comfortable putting more weight on the front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But like you said, it does boil down to like your actual body, your proportions and your stack height.
Yeah. I think the bar width, the width is more important than that too.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah. I think
it all works together though.
I think a lot of people run too wide a bar still, but
yeah. I would love, like you were kind of touching on earlier, like your bike fit and stuff. I would love to get a bike fit, especially on my road gravel bike.
we were just talking about this today too, of how like a road bike fit is and an XC is way more important because you're not riding for dynamic terrain.
Mm-hmm.
On a mountain bike, you're constantly moving up and down the bike and riding dynamic terrain to where you want your seated position very good, but like your front end should be more focused on the handling performance, not on your fit.
Right.
But I think that comes down to bar width too. Like, go do a push up at 800 wide versus like 700 wide. Like you'll probably have more power at 700. You don't have as much stability. So somewhere in the middle, I think, is a better balance than 800 wide. But
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting how much stability you get from a super wide bar. But like, there's compromises everywhere, right?
But it can get unstable as well.
It can.
That too, yeah. I'm super unstable on a wide bar. Like
really?
I cannot ride 780s.
I remember
really?
Yeti sent us a bike. Was it the 27.5? Was it SB?
Oh, the 135?
SB 135.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were filming a video out in the parking lot and we were doing wheelies, but the bars were 800 wide. Dude, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I normally can wheelie all day.
Yeah.
But the bars were so wide, it was throwing my balance off so much that I couldn't hold it for the clip.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
It's important.
First time I ever rode wide bars, I was like, whoa, 800, like this is crazy. This is cool. But then you ride in the trees and you're like, oh, okay, there's there's an in-between here somewhere, which is kind of also with the bike fit. Like
the bike fit, yeah, you're like what Liam was saying, you're stuck in that one position. It better be good.
Yeah.
It better be comfy.
Yeah, and you might not even realize until you get an actual bike fit, like which I've really never done. Would you do that at Sports Academy?
I haven't had an actual bike fit in my life.
Oh.
Like I've nerded out on it and I've ridden in front of like a mirror or window a bit and like done my own kind of eyeball fit and had people look at it, but I would like to get on an actual like bike fit.
Yeah. I've done a real bike fit before and it was good, but it was years ago at this point now, and my body has changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
And my strength is different and my mobility is different, so it's worth kind of doing it over and over again.
Interesting.
Because I don't know if it's good now, but I do adjust it sometimes, especially saddle height. So.
Yeah. My Rover feels mint. I don't know what it is, but that bike, I just lock in. I feel so good. I need to match my road bike to it.
Yeah.
Because my Rover feels better.
That's sweet. Yeah. Do you have similar like stem length and everything? And
stems are a little longer on the road bike, but I try to match the seat. I need to get out like proper, like, plumb line
bob.
and like all the stuff to get down to the millimeter on it. I got pretty close, but
wow, I
need to get dialed with it.
That's very interesting. I think I'd like to explore that more. A little bike fit action. Look, what are you doing after work? Oh, I'm getting a bike fit. Well, boys, I think that just about wraps this one up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We truly do appreciate it. And I guess we will catch y'all on the next one.
See you later.
Cheerio.
Love ya.
Thanks for hanging out.